In this module, we're going to review the online and hotspot door configurations within the system. Typically, these configurations will be installed during the initial implementation by the service and installation technicians and will not require the user to perform this function. That being said, we're going to review it briefly so that in the event that one needs to, you'll understand kind of where things are in the database. So again, what I've done is I've opened up the door that I have named in my system as main entry, and in its description I've designated it it's a hotspot. I personally think it's a good idea to designate in the descriptions whether a door is online, offline, or a hotspot, just to make it easy to find them on the list and to open them up when you need to look at something. So again, we've discussed the items on the left-hand side as well as the opening modes in other modules. We're basically going to be focused right here in the center of the screen on this connected door. And the first checkbox that you see basically says is online. That's telling the system that this is an online door that I'm going to communicate to via the network. It's not necessarily defining it as a hotspot because there is the opportunity to have an online wired door that doesn't provide the Salto virtual network updating of the cards and is just simply an online peripheral. But the system automatically determines that when it establishes communication. This next checkbox down here says extend expiration. This is a feature that's I believe it started at about version 8 and beyond. But what it does is it says in the unlikely event that the hotspot is unable to communicate with the host database, would you like it to extend the activation period on the user's card to allow the card to continue to function even though we have not revalidated it based on the central database? And that's what this extend expiration is. When I click it on, it will now follow the extend expiration parameters that were defined in the general options tab, which are reviewed elsewhere, but I can show you where they are. So I'm going to hit save and close, and now you see it says that update is required on this particular door. And I'm going to close this one out, and then we'll go out to Tools, Configuration, General Options, and here under, I believe it's under Lock. Yep. Right here on the upper right-hand side is where you see the SVN automatic date extension. So basically what we've said here is we've defined it that if the hotspot control unit cannot communicate with the database, extend the expiration date on the card by 1 day. However, if that expiration date is now 7 days from the last time that it was updated, do not extend it further. So it basically allows me to put a threshold that says I'm not going to extend things indefinitely and never realize that my hotspot's not functioning properly. I'm going to allow it to extend it a couple times so that in the event that I have a short-term network outage or whatever, I don't cause havoc by locking everybody out. And again, this is selected by opening. So if you have some hotspots that it makes sense to provide this privilege with and others that it doesn't, it's selectable by the door back at the door window where we started. But that's basically how that happens.